Today we're going to be cooking spiced lamb with aubergines and pita breads, and we're going to be cooking these in the Morso oven. We're going to cook the lamb on the Tuscan grill, so embers under here, lamb on top, butterflied leg of lamb, and I just want to make sure that this sits nice and flat on the Tuscan grill so it cooks quickly and evenly. We're just going to open this up a little bit so now it lies pretty flat and is more or less an even thickness. Then I'm going to prick it a little bit, and then rub it with spices, and those holes will just allow the spices to infuse the meat. I'm going to rub the meat with olive oil, and then into the spices and give it all a nice coat and rub all of that in. There we are. That's going to go to the fridge. That can sit there for a few hours. We're now going to make the pita breads. And whilst the pita breads are rising and we're doing all of that other preparation, the meat can be marinating in the rub. So in my bowl here I have white bread flour, a little bit of wholemeal bread flour, salt and yeast. And into that we're going to add some yogurt. It acts as a softening agent, water, a quick mix to bring all that together. Once the dough's come together, bring it out onto the bench. And we're going to work that a vigorous 5 or 6 minutes, and that should be a nice smooth dough. I'm going to put that in a bowl. It's a nice sort of warm, dry day today, so I'm going to add a little bit of oil to that just so it doesn't dry out the outside of the dough. Put a little top on that and just set that aside for a couple of hours. Then we'll be ready to cook. Our lamb has been marinating happily. Our pitta is nicely risen. That's had a good couple of hours. The recipe for this is in our Woodfired flatbreads and pancakes book, but we will of course put a link to a blog, and the blog will contain the recipe for you. Now we need to turn this dough into dough balls, ready to shape into pittas, rolling them briefly with a little bit of pressure. And these are going to rest for the 20 or 30 minutes that it's going to take us to cook the lamb. It's really important to make sure that the grill is heated up nicely before we put anything on it. Otherwise there's a much greater chance of it sticking, and then a little bit of oil will reduce the chances further. And also we get a big burst of heat from the grill itself, and we get some of those lovely char lines. So we're now ready to pop the lamb straight on there. I'm just going to shake off excess spices, and on we go. Whilst the meat starts cooking, we're going to prepare the aubergine. And all I'm going to do with these is cut them into reasonably thick strips, so 1.5 to 2 centimeters. Slices, I should say, not strips. Into a bowl with salt and plenty of olive oil. It's time to get busy now because the meat has had 20 minutes and I think we're about 5 or 10 minutes off that being cooked. So time to cook the aubergines and start rolling out the pita breads. I've heated a little oil in the pan. And we're going to put these in with a sizzle. Smelling really fantastic in there. The meat's had 30 minutes, so I'm going to bring that out and test the temperature. 55 degrees, or certainly getting up towards 55 degrees, will give us a nice sort of medium rare with the for the lamb. So we're nicely up to it there. It's not going to hurt at all for this lamb to rest for 15 minutes while I cook the pita breads and finish the aubergines. I'm rolling out my first three or four pita breads to their final size. The aubergines are now cooked and they've got some lovely colour. So I'm just going to sit those up here on top of the oven where they'll stay nice and warm. So I've got a nice hot floor to the oven. Nice bright fire burning. 2 or 3 Mississippis in there, nice and hot. And now I can pop these in directly on the floor. and all being well, they'll puff up to give us a nice pocket. And this is just a wonderful dish for a summer's afternoon or a summer's evening, sat around the fire. Couldn't be better. Everybody's stuffing stuff into a pita bread and getting stuck into that. Thank you for watching Woodfired Weekly. We'll be back next week with another episode. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our channel. We'll be releasing one every week, and we'll provide details of all of the recipes on our blog and put a link in the details below. Thank you very much.